Bill Ayers did an interview with Megyn Kelly, and they brought Dinesh D'Souza in to debate him as well. So it was Megyn Kelly and D'Souza versus Bill Ayers. Now, keep in mind, I'm no fan of Bill Ayers. He's certainly not as big of a bogeyman as the conservatives make him out to be. But when he was younger, he was in a group called the Weather Underground that protested the Vietnam War. Now, I'm 100% on page with protesting the Vietnam War. Had I been alive at the time, that would have been the first thing I was doing. But the way he did it was wrong, because he actually committed mass-scale property damage, which included bombing government buildings. Now, to be clear, he never killed anybody, and in fact, he went out of his way to make sure to avoid any casualties at all, so that their goal was property damage. But, look, you gotta call it what it is, man. You're still a terrorist if you do that. If you're doing bombings and destroying property in the name of politics to reach some sort of a political goal, that is terrorism, because terrorism is violence for a political goal. And look, man, some people might disagree with me on that, but if you don't think that bombing is violent, I don't know what to say to you. You know, I mean, have somebody bomb your house and then come talk to me. Even with you not in it, have somebody bomb your house, come home, see the damage, and then tell me that it's not violent. It is violent, okay? So, he is a terrorist, but as far as terrorists go, it's the least bad kind of terrorism because you're not hurting any human beings. You're destroying property. And again, to get all the facts out there, there are allegations, credible or not, I really don't know because there's information from all over the place on this, but there are allegations that some people who were in the movement with Bill Ayers, okay, other people, committed violent acts. Now, he didn't, and that's important to remember, but other people might have taken it even further. So, keeping all that in mind and understanding that I'm certainly not a fan of Bill Ayers because I believe in the not the Malcolm X approach. I believe in the Martin Luther King Jr. approach of nonviolence is always the answer. But with that being said, in this little back and forth that you're about to see with the two Fox News clowns, Ayers is going to run circles around them. And towards the end, it becomes like a comedy sketch because Dinesh D'Souza is going to say something completely outrageous, and Megyn Kelly is just going to gloss right over it. Watch.
If you look at the rhetoric, Bill Ayers represents, I would call it the spirit of 1968. And this was the radical spirit that saw America as a force for evil, saw Vietnam as a metaphor for how bad America was, and then went right back into American history and reinterpreted American history as a series of crimes visited upon the Native Americans, the African Americans, the Mexicans. So this became a kind of anti-Americanism that was fostered in America, and it became pervasive in our schools, our colleges. It's now part of the media.
Do you admit
so
that?
Our culture has been shaped by this.
You don't admit that?
No, I think it's interesting. First of all, both of you are acting like the ends justify the means is absolutely from Mars, but when your ends are in question, like invading Iraq, you're all for it. You're all in, and that's the ends justify. That's a violent end. But on this question of the spirit of '68, we went back and reinterpreted history, and you act as if the reinterpretation of history was some kind of fiction. We did commit genocide against the Native Americans.
Actually,
we did enslave people for 250 years. And the question, could you be a moral person and own slaves, I think is something that you dodge. And so what I would say is, look, what I would say is you need to look at the thing honestly and don't be so afraid of the fact that we did terrible, terrible things in our history. And in order to get right with the world, we have to repair those injuries.
But we shouldn't flagellate ourselves for things that we didn't do. So let's for example,
flagellate us at all. I don't believe in flagellation.
Let's look at genocide. The American Indian population shrunk by 80% over 150 years. The main reason for that was not because of warfare or systematic killing. It's because the white man brought with him from Europe diseases to which the Native Americans, did not have any immunities. And so they perished in large numbers. Now, the Europeans, 1/3 of the population of Europe 100 years later had been wiped out by the Black Plague. Where did that come from? Asia. So with the migration of peoples, diseases go from civilization to civilization. That's not genocide. Genocide is when you intend to wipe out a people.
They intended to wipe out the people and steal their land, and they did both.
Do you think there's a reflexive instinct on many on the left, or to the left of the left, as I guess you are, to blame America first?
Whoa. reflexive instinct on the left? Megyn Kelly, you just sat there and listened to Dinesh D'Souza say the Native American genocide didn't happen, and you didn't call him out on it. So you want to talk about a reflexive reaction? How about a reflexive reaction from the right wing to defend everything that America's ever done? You just listened to a guy say the Native American genocide didn't happen. And you said, do you think the left wing is too reflexive in hating America? No, you're too reflexive in defending everything America's ever done. That goes for Megyn Kelly and Dinesh D'Souza. Look, you have to understand how patently absurd what Dinesh D'Souza just said is. He essentially just said, well, look, the reason why the Native Americans were killed, it was just natural diseases that were brought over, and they were just transferred innocently, and that's why they were all wiped out. Oh, really, Dinesh? Is that what happened? Could it have anything to do with the fact that maybe some of the diseases were literally handed to them on smallpox blankets? Yes, the white man had smallpox blankets and they gave it to the Indians, to the Native Americans. Okay, he is totally twisting history here and denying reality. We did westward expansion. There were literal laws passed by Congress, signed by the president, and Andrew Jackson was the biggest one with this, right? Where they said it's like the Indian Removal Act, where you wipe them out and you move west and you have the Trail of Tears. What was the Trail of Tears? Was that brought about by a Western virus that they naturally got? Did the cold do that to them? Was that strep throat that forced them at the barrel of a gun to march westward? I mean, the revisionist history is overwhelming. And again, it's so ironic that here you have Megyn Kelly and Dinesh D'Souza saying, Bill Ayers, do you think it's reflexive on the part of the left wing to hate America at all costs? Well, no, I don't, Megyn and Dinesh, but I do think it's the right-wing reaction to defend America at all costs, to the point where you're literally taking one of the worst crimes that not only we ever did, but one of the worst crimes in history, and you're saying, nope, didn't happen. Nope, it was all natural. What are you talking about? It was totally natural. We didn't kill them. We didn't shoot them. We didn't do westward expansion. We didn't do the Trail of Tears. We didn't do the Indian Removal Act. We didn't hand them smallpox blankets. They don't understand history at all, man, and it's so pathetic. You lose all credibility when you say something like that. You have to understand that. You're just a flat-out history denier if you say something like that. That's as bad. Understand something. What Dinesh D'Souza just said and what Megyn Kelly glossed over, that is just as bad as Holocaust denial. Just as bad and just as inaccurate. It is a fact that we wiped out the Indians. Okay? I mean, and look, to Bill Ayers' point when he said, well, the ends, you guys act like the ends justify the means is so crazy, but you said that in Iraq. That's exactly right. He got it exactly right. Again, I don't agree with Bill Ayers, especially when he was younger and he did the property damage, right? I'm a firm believer in nonviolence. But that point right there is brilliant, of course, in Iraq, they said, well, we have to get rid of Saddam, and we have to destroy that regime, and we have to topple the country and fuck shit up for a little bit. Why? Because down the road, they'll have a Jeffersonian democracy, so it's worth it. That's the ends justify the means. Again, it's so ironic that here you have a situation where they're accusing him of reinterpreting history as they gloss over the Native American genocide and slavery. The idea, well, America's never done anything bad. For fuck's sake, about 500,000 civilians were killed in Vietnam. For what? For what? Oh, we needed to stop the spread of communism. Really? So if there was a communist ideology that took over Vietnam in the blink of an eye, next thing you know, they would have been in Missouri. Please control your tongue, son. You sound stupid. Look, America's not pure evil. That's obvious, okay? But America's also not pure good. There are some good things we did, of course. You could say World War II. You could say the Marshall Plan. You could say a lot of things that FDR left behind in history, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and LBJ with the war on poverty, right? we've had a strong labor movement in this country. Yes, we've done many good things. You could argue the intervention in Bosnia and Kosovo is a good thing. But there are a lot of things. Vietnam was a horrible idea. The war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, horrible idea. Our imperialism right now, horrible idea. Slavery, Native American genocide, horrible idea. But they want to gloss over that and pretend like everything America did ever is good. So they are the ones that are guilty of exactly what they're accusing Bill Ayers of being guilty of there.